Good evening and welcome to my midweek recap and plan ahead for Apple. A couple of new notes over here on my intraday basis. I did take half off my position, these 210 calls here at 45 just to lock some in. Plan was to add on pullback to the gap. As I said for my weekend video, I wanted to see price action gap above this 190 and quarter level, come back in, test the level, and then continue higher, at which point I would have added into those calls, just give me a little bit bigger size. Did not get that opportunity, has not even pulled back to test the 8 EMA yet, at which point I will be looking for more calls, but that's going to happen probably in the next few days. We'll see what happens. Anyways, on Tuesday, I did take a breakout trade here on a faster time frame, got into the 16 June 195 calls, which ended up, excuse me for one second, ended up as a failed breakout, as you can see right here. Break above the opening 5, nice wick up there, broke above it, got some decent volume, just no follow through, hit some resistance and rolled back over, in at 159, out at 156. So it was a failed breakout, went ahead, got out of the way, and let price action do its thing. Wednesday, did not take any new positions, and what I will be looking for going forward is a couple of new notes. Looking for a breakout continuation play in 195 calls approximately 2 weeks out in the future. Now on this play, if price action gaps up, ideally I want to see it pull back and touch this 194, even into this range, and find support candle, something like one of these Marubozu candles or a hammer candle, something with some decent volume off of a significant level. Could be the VWAP, could be either one of these green lines. Doesn't really matter to me. Stop loss on that play will be just below 193, so we'll see if that materializes. If I get a pullback to the blue line down here, which actually will be a little bit higher tomorrow on the open, I'll look at 190 calls approximately 2 weeks out. Depending on how high this does pop up on the open, maybe even going into 192.5 calls 2 weeks out. Same thing at the 21 EMA way down here. Price action will pull it up a little bit further on the open tomorrow, probably up to around 188, 188.5 roughly. At that point, I'll either take 187.5 calls or 190 calls about 2 weeks out in the future. And way down below is the 50 SMA, which I'll gladly take some calls at that level as well, looking at 180 calls about 2 weeks out. Now onto the daily time frame over here. Price action has broken above this flag. Volume confirms there's participation in the trade, and it looks like it will continue higher. The daily candle closed as a hammer after a gap up, which could potentially be argued is a hanging man candle, which is potentially a reversal candle. So in order for that to trigger, it would have to actually break below this 190, 190 area and have some sellers really come up on the tape and start to push it down with some strength. If that does happen, we'll have to wait and see. Then I'll just simply wait for the next level down. I don't feel like taking puts or going short on a name just because it's making all-time highs. Excuse me. If you remember, anytime Apple or any big name, excuse me, has started to make a run like this, you have to think why. Is it retail? Is it traders? Or is it big money? For a stock like Apple to really make a substantial move and sustain that move, it has to be big money. So if this does continue higher and starts to push up, logic is kind of going to go out the window. Us as traders are not really going to know why it's going up or what the price target is of big money. All we have to know is it takes big money to move a stock like Apple and continue higher. So if it starts to run like AMD has recently, or like Apple did when the news came out, earnings and Buffett got into the trade, if it starts to run, that means big money is still in it and there's something strong pushing it higher. Volume does confirm, as I've said, that there's participation in the trade. It's at least higher than the most recent average volume. So we do have that going for us as bulls. So I'm looking for it to go higher. Overall measure move up there to around the 215 level. May have some resistance here at 200. Maybe chop around a little bit. 197.32 is probably going to be a very important level. That's where Apple officially becomes a $1 trillion market cap stock. So a couple of those levels to keep in mind. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Come join us in the Trade Crew chat room if you'd like. Have a good evening and good luck.